wave of murder which is sweeping the eastern third of the nation is being committed by creatures who feast upon the flesh of their victims.
The reason that we are here today, obviously, and for this whole weekend, is to celebrate George Romero as a filmmaker, not just as someone who sort of invented the modern zombie movie, but also as a filmmaker per se, and made lots of other types of movies, satires and psychological thrillers and all sorts of things like that. So I guess my first question is a really trite, basic question, but what was it about filmmaking and film that sort of got you excited and wanted you to do that? Become a filmmaker?
I wish I could answer that question. I don't know. I always loved film. I never thought that I could do it. I never thought that I could do it professionally or that I could have a career. I always thought it was, magical. You had to be born royalty, Hollywood royalty of some kind. I never thought. And in the days when I was in college, there were no, you couldn't get your hands on equipment or anything. You came in, the film appreciation course was, you sat down and watched Battleship Potemkin and talked about it. And that was it. And no hands-on, nothing. And I wound up going to college as a painting and design major, and found out I was not a good artist, and transferred to the theater drama department at Carnegie Mellon. And I didn't have the discipline to pronounce the perfect T's and stuff that they wanted you to do. But I met guys that were all interested in movies, and I scrammed out of school. I was there for 5 years, but never graduated.
Did you ever think about directing theatrically when you were at Carnegie Mellon studying drama?
I did, but all the teachers said, "You wouldn't make it, George."
How they speak there? That's how teachers speak?
Oh, no. It was a very sort of hoity-toity thing. It was all, this is theater.
Well, you showed them, that's for sure. I think, anyway. What were, I guess, so as a sort of offshoot of that, as a filmmaker, sort of having the guts to say, well, drama's not my thing, maybe art not my thing. Let's just go make something,
I don't know if that took guts. None of us thought. My friends, I met people in school and friends of friends and that were interested in film. None of us thought that we could ever make a theatrical feature or anything like that. But we were really interested in film, so we said, how about starting a little company? In those days, there were film laboratories. Cities the size of Pittsburgh had film laboratories because the news was on film. It was before videotape or before kinescope even. So
I'm sure some of these people out here don't know what videotape is either.
Everything used to be film, which meant it had to be processed, put through the soup, and it was a completely different ballgame back then. And those of us who were dedicated to it said, well, let's get involved at some level or another. And so we started a company to do commercials, beer commercials, industrial films, stuff like that. And hung up a shingle. Basically, that was it. We were the first guys in town to do that. And because we were the first guys in town, I think got successful. Everybody said, hey, let's shoot our commercials on film. Because before that, beer commercials were the announcer between innings at the ball game, when they were actually able to drink beer on camera before all of those laws. And they were going, if the ball game went into extra innings, forget about it. These guys were sloshed. Drink Iron City beer. So it was, we said, let's do it on film. You won't get these errors. And we got successful. And over about 3 or 4 years, we bought equipment, bought lights, had cameras and sound equipment and all that. So we got the stuff. Let's try to make a movie.
Now, I know it's common knowledge out there that you worked on Mr. Rogers and that sort of, everyone in Pittsburgh worked on Mr. Rogers in those days, you've said. But is it true, I just want to know this for a fact, that you actually worked on the episode where he got his tonsillectomy? Is that an actual fact?
I shot the whole thing. Mr. Rogers gets a tonsillectomy.
So the first horror film, I think, in a weird way, going into.
I think it maybe was the scariest movie I've ever made. Fred was a wonderful guy. I can't in any way talk down on Fred. Everyone from Pittsburgh who has wound up as a working professional in any sort of electronic media started with Fred. Fred was a wonderful, wonderful guy. He was a bit of a child. I mean, he really was the guy that you saw. When we shot him, we shot this tonsillectomy, and of course he didn't actually have it. He was just trying to tell kids that don't be afraid. And so he said, what's the best way to show that it's fun? Well, I'll have them push me around in wheelchairs. And that's what he did. And, you know, but it was from the heart. I mean, he was a guy, he was a very wealthy man who never had to grow up. And that translated completely. He tried to give the kids that sort of confidence in life and all that. I have nothing but respect for the guy.
I agree totally. So I just wanted to clear that up because I didn't know if that was like an urban myth or something.
Oh, no. I did all the little, he used to have this thing, the trolley would come out. And it would say, okay, it's time for picture. And the trolley would come out and there'd be a little screen that would drop and they would show you something like, how do they make light bulbs? And it was always some little interesting film. And I shot all of those things. And the biggie, the big, spectacular, the Cleopatra of the pictures was Mr. Rogers Gets a Tonsillectomy.
So how does one transition from Mr. Rogers then to a film like Night of the Living Dead? I mean,
quite easily.
You say so.
No, you don't ever think of yourself as a horror filmmaker. You want to make film, right? And I don't care what it is. I'll shoot How Do You Make a Light Bulb. I'll shoot it tomorrow, just give me the job. What you are trying to do with the medium is to tell some kind of story. And, you don't categorize yourself. In the end, the industry categorizes you. Like, I can't get arrested on anything but a horror film now, today. I went through, there were a number of years where people were saying, well, maybe this guy can do something else. But everything that I tried that was something else never made any money. So, well, he's just a horror guy. Now, I happen to love this genre, and I don't, in fact, feel trapped because I'm able to make movies with a lot less difficulty about social issues, and so I'm able to make a social satire without having to parse every word and be very careful about the script. I glue zombies on it and I can say anything I want. I can be
This hour, they report the level of the mysterious radiation continues to increase steadily. So long as this situation remains, government spokesmen warn that dead bodies will continue to be transformed into the flesh-eating ghouls. All persons who die during this crisis, from whatever cause, will come back to life to seek human victims unless their bodies are first disposed of by cremation.